How much do you know about the endocrine-disrupting chemicals EDC? EDCs, endocrine-disrupting chemicals, hinders the natural hormone from working properly in our body, thereby damaging our health. Hazardous substance can be a serious problem in places where the chemical substances are not strictly regulated. Therefore, the strict management of EDCs are absolutely necessary in our society. Recently, in South Korea, the governments are expanding their control over some EDCs containing products through the enforcement degree of the Special Act on the Safety of Children's Products. However, since the Asian region, including Korea, relatively lacks the laws and systems restricting the use of EDCs in products, there raised an urgent need of research on the exposure status of EDCs in Asian countries. We launched a project with 8 countries as following: Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Japan. Firstly, we met the NGOs in Asian countries and introduced our overall process of the project through the project briefing sessions. NGOs from 8 countries sent the samples of 40 erasers and 40 receipts to Seoul respectively. We started to analyze the content of EDCs detected from the sampled erasers and receipts. Regarding the detailed process, we go through the pre-treatment to cut the erasers and receipts into small pieces using punches or scissors before we extract the EDCs in earnest. We selected 5 types of bisphenols to be analyzed within the specimens of receipts and 7 types of phthalates to be analyzed within the erasers. When we examined the total 318 receipts from 7 countries, BPA was found in more than half of the samples, 54.7%, and BPS was found in 37.7% of the samples. Consequently, we confirm that BPA or BPS were detected from 92.1% of the total samples. In Japan, where the restriction of EDCs has been started earlier compared to any other countries in Asia, and in South Korea, where the civil society has been actively reported the risk of BPA in thermal papers, the detection rates of BPS were high. In contrast, in Bangladesh, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Nepal, and Philippines, the detection rates of BPA were high when we examined the level of phthalates among total 341 erasers. The sum of concentration of total 7 types of phthalates exceeded 0.1%, which is a standard in South Korea, in 30.5% of the samples. DEHP, DBP, and DIBP, well known as the type of EDCs, were mainly found in erasers. When we conducted the country-wise comparisons, phthalates exceeded the standard ranged from 10% to 47.5%. Through our results, we have identified that Asian individuals, including the children, have a high possibility to be exposed to EDCs in Asian region. Regarding the erasers, there was a high proportion of products imported or manufactured overseas. Therefore, the country-specific regulations of EDCs are important indeed. But most of all, the joint efforts of Asian countries to control the EDCs may be the first step to make Asia safe, beyond making the Asia free from EDCs.
실제로 시민단체 같은 경우에는 정책 제안을 많이 하시는데요. 그래서 과학적인 분석 결과가 필요한 경우가 많이 있고, 또 저희가 하는 것처럼 이렇게 본격적으로 다른 나라들과 연계해서 그들과의 지금까지의 정책을 비교하고 또 결과를 비교하고 이렇게 하면서 진행하는 경우는 없었던 걸로 알고 있어요.
이 프로젝트는 기본적으로 이제 분석 기술을 지원하는 것이기 때문에 그게 가장 큰 몫이고요. 나머지는 그것을 이용해서 각국에서 제도 개선을 위한 캠페인에 이 결과를 활용하도록 그렇게 지원할 계획입니다.
Hello everyone, so in this opportunity I would like to deliver our future plan for future campaigns which relates to our campaigns before. So firstly, we would do an advanced research where in this activity we would make a Google form or do a direct interview with society to find out their perceptions about erasers, which are for students, and thermal papers for all ages. And the output of this activity is a release and an infographic. After that, we will educate the society about the harm of thermal papers and about the harm of erasers. through our social media and our event in our mobile plastic exhibition, we will educate the society. Lastly, from the research and from the perceptions of the society, we will combine them together, and the result of that, we will use it to notify the producers to not use the dangerous materials for their products anymore, and to notify the government to watch the distribution of the dangerous materials, and also to give alternative to thermal paper use.
차별과 불평등을 해소하고 보다 안전하고 건강하고 지속 가능한 사회를 만드는 것이 우리의 목표입니다. 환경 호르몬, 수은 중독, 냉독성 농약으로부터 안전한 아시아를 함께 만들어 갑시다. 아시아의 모든 어린이와 청소년들이 안전하고 건강하게 자라날 수 있도록 미래를 열어갑시다. 노동환경 건강연구소와 유해물질 주방 국제 네트워크가 우리 재단의 든든한 글로벌 ESG 협력 파트너가 되어주실 것을 기대합니다.
To make the EDC's Free Asia, Korea Financial Industry Public Interest Foundation, and the Wonjin Institute for Occupational and Environmental Health will support the technology to analyze EDCs and provide the scientific evidence to support for each organization's campaigns, thereby sharing the responsibility for the hazardous substances. By our one step together, we will see an opportunity to work together for the goal of creating the safe society free from hazardous substances.